Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dulcie. I'm a dietitian with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. And today I'll be demonstrating 3 recipes for you, all wonderful, flavorful recipes that follow the 3 simple rules. All are vegan, low-fat, and low glycemic index. So we're going to start off with a spicy black bean and tomato recipe. And right now I have 1/4 cup of vegetable broth warming in my pan here on medium heat. And use vegetable broth instead of oil to cut down on the fat. And then I'm going to add to that 1/2 cup of onions chopped. And then 2 garlic cloves. And so I will let this simmer here for about 30 seconds to a minute until the garlic and the onions start to turn a little bit translucent. And then from there, I'm going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Diced tomatoes are a great source of lycopene, an antioxidant phytochemical, wonderful to fight cancer. And 2 tablespoons of green chilies, diced green chilies, just from the can. And I will stir this all together. And from here, I'm just going to let this simmer uncovered for about 6 to 8 minutes or so, and I'll come back to it after I demonstrate my second recipe. Okay. My second recipe is a wonderful winter stew. It's called curried lentil soup. And for this, all you do is take about a cup of dry lentils that you have rinsed off in advance. Lentils are an excellent protein-rich legume, high in iron and calcium. And as lentils cook, they'll increase in soluble fiber. And now I'm going to add a cup of onions, chopped up again. And then 2 celery stalks. Celery is a great source of insoluble fiber, very low in calories, but helps to increase the fiber in the recipe, and which then boosts satiety and how full you feel. So from here, for the curried lentil soup, I'll add 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, a wonderful antioxidant-rich spice. And then what I would do is I would add 8 cups of water or vegetable broth. If you don't have vegetable broth on hand, water works just as fine. It's a little bit less flavorful. And then you would cover this and let it simmer on low to medium heat for about 50 minutes or until the lentils have popped open and start to soften a little bit. And then what you would do from there, once the lentils have softened and opened up, is you would take a can of crushed tomatoes, add that, add 1½ teaspoons of curry powder, any curry powder works, and then salt and pepper to taste, and then you would also add couscous, which is a very fine pasta made from wheat. Or you could also serve this over any grain, such as quinoa is a really nice grain I have here. It fluffs up very nicely and is high in protein and high in fiber. And you would cook that for about another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, depending on what type of grain you use, and then serve. And it makes a wonderful, hearty winter dish. Very flavorful, very delicious. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my spicy black beans and tomatoes. They are simmering here now. The flavors are coming together really nicely. And to this, I'm going to add 1 large can of black beans, which I've just rinsed with water. And then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper, chili powder, and cumin, which I've pre-measured out. And then also a tablespoon of either cilantro and parsley. Both are great herbs, full of antioxidants, and add some nice fresh flavor. So then I would stir this together and then cook for probably about another 5 minutes or so. And that's it. And then you could serve again over a quinoa or couscous, or serve with a tortilla or baked tortilla chips. I have it in front of me, served over couscous here. Looks very nice. All right. So I'm going to now demonstrate my third recipe. And this is a garlicky green bean recipe. And all I'll do for this recipe is take 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And this is an oil. It does have fat in it, but we're using a very small amount. And this would be a recipe that you wouldn't be eating all the green beans in one sitting, most likely. So it turns out to be very low in fat. So 2 teaspoons of oil and a tablespoon of soy sauce, and then 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. And rice vinegar is a lovely 0-calorie vinegar that adds a lot of flavor. Adds a nice sweet flavor, actually. And then I'm just going to throw my garlic in. 8 large cloves of garlic. And this is great for the wintertime because garlic helps boost immunity. So it's a wonderful recipe. And from here, I will add in my green beans, which I have steamed in advance, chopped off the stems, and steamed for about 10 minutes until they turned a nice bright green color. And then I will throw these in here, and then these cook for about 2 minutes until the green beans are warm, and then you want to serve warm next as a side dish, as a wonderful, flavorful side dish. And that's it. And just to show you the curried lentil soup, when the finished product, it's a nice dark red. I garnished with a little bit of extra parsley. Again, a hearty winter recipe. And that's it for my cooking demonstrations today. If you'd like to get the recipes, you can go to diabetes.pcrm.org. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.